Hi viewers, I hope this lighting isn't too weird. It's very hard. I'm not very technologically savvy. I just have to make do prowling around rooms of the house at different times of the day and night when I can get a bit of space. So that's how it is, you know. Now, there's been a lot of requests and a lot of requests for Mike Pence. So he's such a strange one, isn't he? You know, so he's such a patronising, self-righteous dickhead. But he's the vice president and the one to step into the breach should anything happen to Donald Trump. Okay, so this reading is going to be on Mike Pence, an update on Mike Pence. He's such a scheming weasel of a man, isn't he? He's just vile. There's nothing to like about Pence because there's nothing to grip onto. The evangelicals, of course, thought he was their man because he would stop everyone having sex, you know, until they'd been married 3 years or something. You know, he's just so behind the door. This is someone who needs to get out more. So what's happening with Mike Pence? So, general to start. Oh, I think these cards are upside down, so I don't think it's a reversal. I think I just had my cards upside down. Yes, well, oh, look. He is so strange. Look, first of all, I have to say, he's more emotional than he appears, right? This is the Ace of Cups, and it is emotion and all of that, but there's a slight over-gushing thing about emotions going on here. He is more emotional than you would know by looking at him, you know, because he does look like he's got a broom up the rectum at all times, but there's more going on. He could be in a bit of a panic, a quiet Pence panic. He's a mercenary. He has all this religiosity, but at the end of the day, it's actually about the money. What is it with these people? They are so shallow and so awful. Now, we have two cards, viewers. Two cards about him not being there. Well, he's never there, is he really? But let me show you. You have the Four of Swords, retreat, and you have the Eight of Cups, walking away, retreat, walking away. Look, it's hard. Do I think he's actually going to walk away from the job? No, I don't. This is how he's conducted his role as vice president, just not being there. He's just not there. So I think it's more of the same, rather than him actually packing his briefcase, which would have nothing in it. The man does nothing. Can anyone cite a single incident of anything he's done, a task he has completed, a policy he's drafted, you know, an idea that he's pushed outside of this, you know, 19th century nonsense? Tears at bedtime. Okay, so that's general. Not there, business as usual. Not ending well, under pressure, under stress, staying up at night. The fantasy isn't coming about, is it, really? The idea was Trump would get in, he'd either get bored and retire, or the Republicans or the Democrats or somebody would eventually get rid of him, and Pence would step up seamlessly as this very calm father of the nation type of figure, Hasn't worked. And it's not going to work, I would suggest. So that's his general thing. So let's get in a bit more specifically. So my question, will Pence go when Trump goes? No. Let me reword it differently. Back to basics. Will Pence be president? Will Pence be president? Will Pence? Potus 46. I can't bear it. I simply can't bear it, and I'm sure none of you guys could either. I mean, really, how hideous would it be? Will Pence be president? Okay. King of Cups doing it for his father. Rising star. Oh, all right. Look, if I wasn't a jaundiced old bag, these cards suggest he might be. I have to be upfront. Right. However, there are certain qualifiers to that. Okay. I just said father of the nation. This is sort of the emotional father. This is probably more likely to be his father. Okay. In his past, again, the star, hopes, inspiration and ambitions, and God knows how he pulled it off, but he got, I wish I could remember. Someone really strange suggested him for the vice president. So I was surprised. Viewers, if any of you know the story, whoever actually pushed him for vice president, I can't remember at the moment. So his star was on the rise, and it will be down in the history books that he was vice president. Now, this is the Nine of Cups, hopes and wishes fulfilled. He obviously wants to be pres, you know. As I've always said, this is a person who gets their hopes and wishes, but not always in the most ethical of ways. In fact, this is someone who happily tramples on people to get wealth. So this is not, you know, he doesn't look really sinister, but nonetheless, this is his essential character is very, very compromised. Why I have to say he could get there is because of this card, which is a victory, emissary to the king. It's like high up in the army, having just had a victory, could well happen. Okay. Wheel of Fortune, it's all up in the air, isn't it? You know, so the hand of fate has been active to this point. So we can't possibly leave it there, can we? Let's just see. So he quite possibly gets there. Then what? Then what? Oh, yes. Yes. And yes. Okay. When you're doing extra cards, you try and continue until you either get a major arcana card or a high court card. So that's what I did then, and it tells another very clear story. So, as we all know, there are many ways Trump could leave the building. Now, this sort of tells that story in a way. I don't know if all of you have seen Dave Johnson's work, Moonride. He has a very clear vision of Trump losing it and McConnell coming in and saying, just leave. leave. Right. That's interesting. So it saves the Conservatives doing the 25th Amendment, unfit presidency. It saves the Democrats all the trouble and argy-bargy. Have we all remembered argy-bargy? The argy-bargy of an impeachment, you know, takes a hugely long time, costs a fortune, wah-wah. This speaks more or less to what Dave is saying more. This is group work and manipulation behind the scenes. It's the higher-ups coming in. This is saying to me something along those lines, that they will allow him to go in for a very short while just to keep hold of the presidency, and then very quickly, like straight away, they're going to come in and say, here's an offer, you won't like it, but this is the only offer. Fuck off. It's fairly basic. Fuck off while you still can and take your empty briefcase. Why do I think that? Also, because Mueller is going to still be there. His actual role might have finished as all these huge court cases come out, because I'm thinking this is early 2019 to mid 2019 is my feel. Tarot isn't exact with timelines. Check out your astrologers. It's not in the next 5 minutes. I don't think it's between now and the end of the year. Happy to be wrong. Happy to be wrong. But if Pence gets in, it's not for long. A lot of us as psychics, I've seen that before when I did Pence readings. Not for long. Going through the motions, trying to secure the Republican presidency. This is Mueller actually on Pence's ass. It could also be Mueller on quite a few of the top Republicans. So, that's my take. There's a high possibility Pence will be put in to replace Trump, but it won't be for long, because the whole thing won't be for long. God, we've just got to hang in, viewers. So, don't forget, just a little reminder, I'm also predicting the stock market will have a wobble October. It will be a wobble. It won't be a collapse, but it'll frighten the hell out of enough people to cast this whole healthy economy crap in a slightly more bogus light than it is. It's an illusion that is continuing for now. Stock market will have a wobble. Next year, it's going to have a far more serious wobble. Okay, so that's Pence. The ghost in the West Wing might get to be Potus 46 for a fortnight, which is 2 weeks if you don't have fortnights where you are. Okay, all right then. I enjoyed that. Bit of light relief.